All right, so when we're looking at the Armalite rifle platform, what are the main pieces of furniture that we're looking at here?
Yeah, so I mean, accessories are getting a little wild nowadays. I'm speaking on myself, a little bit of autism kicking in. So risers, stocks, you've got your charging handles, you've got grips, you've got lights, and you've got mounts. So there's a lot to cover, and there's a lot of ways to go about it for sure.
All right, so let's start with the stock. What are we looking at? What's out there? What do you like? What should people kind of look into?
Yeah, I feel like if you're on a starter gun, everybody usually just buys a Daniel Defense. They like all the rubberized texture to it.
They get a Daniel Defense stock on their rifle?
Yeah, or they just buy a whole Daniel Defense. I mean, everything is pretty much plug and play, so you can do whatever you want. There's some unwritten rules, but like me, I don't really care. So you put whatever you like on there. It's your gun, you're gonna have to use it. Hopefully you don't have to use it in a serious situation, but if you are, you better be comfortable with it. So who cares? My stock is a BMS mill. It's just comfortable for me. Foregrips or pistol grips. People put duct tape on theirs, they put electrical tape on there, or they just go with there are different ergonomic shapes. So me, I have a Fostech rifle. I know people, you know what I'm saying, they make fun of it all the time. It's fine. I love the Fostech pistol grips, so I put that on mine.
They make fun of it, but do they know how to use one?
No.
You know?
No, they don't. It's comfortable.
If you gave a Navy SEAL a high point,
they'd be fine.
He's gonna do more work than you are with your fancy gun, so. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. So yeah, I mean, with me, so Fostech grip, I have a knockoff GBRS Groups riser. I like it. I just didn't want to spend $300 to not like it, so I went with this one first. Sorry, fellas. I usually buy American, so next one will be for sure. And then lights. Obviously, I don't have my Streamlight on there yet, but you can go Streamlight, Olight, whatever is comfortable for you, whatever you feel like paying to put on your gun.
Surefire.
I highly recommend. Yeah, Surefire. Yeah. I highly recommend putting a light on your rifle, and it's definitely necessary. And if your wife says it isn't, she is wrong. And you can play this video, so you can play it to her.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then you can get into the weeds with different triggers. There's a bunch of different triggers. I like hyperfire triggers, but right now I caved and went with the Geisley, just because I'm going suppressed, and I had to. At some point, you're gonna have to cave and spend a little chunk of change on something. So
now, why is that?
I went Geisley just because they're tested, they're proven. Everybody that goes with the Geisley trigger loves their Geisley trigger, and I was having a lot of issues with my other ones. Not that they're bad companies or not that they use bad material. I just, when you're adding all this stuff on the gun, if it doesn't work, there's no point. So I felt like I didn't have any trigger issues after going with the Geisley. So I went with the Geisley feather trigger on there, super, super light. And then obviously you see the AAC suppressor on there. I went with that one this is a 300 blackout platform as well.
So when you're looking at your riser, for instance, so right here we have the Hollow Sun,
yep,
whatever this is called, AEMS.
AEMS, yep.
So this one is just sitting normally on the gun, and then it looks like you have this. Is this the same one? Yeah,
so it's the same riser that it comes with. So it keeps it a little bit above the barrel or above the rail, but obviously when you go with the Hydra mount, it lifts it up even more.
So what made you want to go Hydra mount instead of just putting it on here like this one?
I wanted to go Hydra mount because now that I'm falling into this this black hole, which is night vision, you start falling into that, then you have to realize, okay, if I have nods on that come out about 8 inches, and then you have a riser, you won't be able to choke on the gun. It just makes it a lot harder for you to be able to integrate everything. So going with the Hydra mount, and again, this is the knockoff, so it's not even a real thing. I just wanted to test it out, the sight over bore and everything, see what that feels like, but I actually love it. So now I don't choke on the gun even without nods. Everything is right in my line of sight. So sight acquisition is actually really, really easy for me. But yeah, it's the riser that comes with the Hollow Sun. I love it personally because I've had this sight for about 2 years now, and I haven't changed the battery yet.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so this Holosun is making great stuff for what it's worth. Now, when you get into IR lasers and stuff like that, then it's like you might as well go D-ball or something. Just once you're spending money like that with night vision, $4,000 on nods and stuff like that, then yeah, that's when you just go into a little bit of debt for sure.
For sure.
So there's no point in saving money at that point. Yeah, but yeah. So Holosun for me, I love it. I haven't had any issues with it. You can pretty much just go with anything that you feel comfortable spending money on, and you wouldn't be hurt if it just shattered tomorrow. Because most of this stuff, if you're actually out and training, something's gonna cave at some point. Something is going to nuke. It's a part of it.
So talking about these like Foregrips right here.
Yeah.
I see you have, this going on. What's something that made you want to get this as opposed to the vertical grip?
Yeah, so I was training with a SWAT buddy of mine. I can't say any names. Brilliant guy, but he basically, while I was going back and forth on it, he was like, I feel like you shouldn't put anything on there because you want as low of a profile. If you're shooting behind a vehicle or on a vehicle or something like that, you want to be as low as possible. So I was like, yeah, but I kind of like that. My seat clamp is real crisp with this one. So
I think I know who you're talking about.
So I was like, okay, the actual foregrip, this being an SBR, the actual foregrip, yeah, it would be nice to have, but it's too much for me personally. So I didn't want to go with that. This is a lot more comfortable for me with my seat clamp having 3, maybe 2 fingers on there. It's fine. And everything is interchangeable on these ARs. So the only way to know if you don't like something instead of listening to somebody else is to try it. You try it. If you don't like it, you change it. If you do like it and it works and it functions, keep it. Like that's my only way, because there's a lot of egos in this industry, and it is soul crushing at times. So don't let anybody persuade or deter you from trying stuff that you actually like. Like,
I agree.
For sure.
And to his point, there's a lot that you can see on the internet. There's a lot that you can see on YouTube. And I think a lot of people got to realize that 90% of these people just don't even hit the range. Like they're just overloading themselves with information, and they're going to get on here and tell the guy who's trained over 4,000 people and works at a range and does this all day long. Oh, you don't know what you're talking about, because on Reddit I saw. So
Reddit is the depths.
Yeah. So you do want to do research, but at some point, like what Mahari's saying, like how he has the riser that he didn't spend a whole lot of money on. It's like, hey, I'm gonna spend some money, figure out if I like it. I can't figure out if I like it or not just looking at it on the internet. I'm gonna get in the range, send some rounds down range and see how it goes. Absolutely.
So you also want to think about round count when you're getting into mounts and things like the Hydra mount. Like I said, mine is a knockoff, so I'm keeping count of my round counts, because right now I'm at around 400, 500 rounds through this Hydra mount itself. So like when you're buying knockoff stuff, even if you're buying real stuff, you do want to keep track of your round count so you know when this furniture is failing. And when you know when it's failing on a consistent basis, then you know when you need to buy a new one. You know, okay, I probably, if this is my shit hits the fan gun, I probably should make it as minimalist as possible, because I'm not going to buy 2 of them and keep them in a bag and all of that stuff. So you once you get into that black hole of scenario prepping and maybe I should do this, or 1 is none and 2 is 1 and all of that stuff, think about what you're willing to pay for to possibly never use. So that is something to consider. But I say try everything, because some stuff is like, dang, that seems pretty stupid. I go on the range and people are like, what the hell are you using all that for? And I'm like, I go through the whole spiel with nods and stuff like that. It's like, well, it's daytime. It's like, I'm not going to take my mount off because it's daytime. I'm training with it both ways. So you get comfortable with it. If you're comfortable with it and you're lethal with it, and you're efficient, then there's no point in changing it. So
Right.
So the last thing is slings. I think that everybody, when they buy their first rifle, they should buy a sling the same day. I'm a QD 2-point sling guy. I don't know any single point sling guys, but I know that they're out there. And I know that somebody's selling them. So all of it is personal preference. As you try these on, you can get one with padding, you can get one without padding, and then you can run down the rabbit hole of what scenario is which one not gonna work or what. Trumps all that is to practice with it, train with it, get comfortable, get familiar, and how you manipulate it. So 2-point slings, I like them because they give me enough room. Regardless of if I'm on a 7.5, if I'm on a 16-inch, it doesn't matter. The 2-point sling is great for me. You can cinch it in close to your body when you're going hands-free. Single point, I know a lot of guys, they gripe about it because if you just drop it, it's hitting you in the nuts every time you move, which is not fun. But everybody's a little bit different. Try it for yourself. The QD mounts is something that I get a couple people that they hate it. Just because as they're trying to shoulder the rifle, sometimes the QD mounts, they get stuck in an awkward angle, and it makes it terrible to shoot. So keep that in mind.
Let me get one.
What it is.
Terrible pass.
So like a QD mount, swivels, they can be swiveled into a terrible angle that is very uncomfortable to shoot. That is a possibility. So that's why some people, I see a couple guys, military guys, that kind of zip tie stuff together, make it as comfortable as possible. I'm all for it. You can jerry rig whatever the hell you want to, as long as it functions and you're comfortable with it.
Yeah. That's what it looks like right there. Yeah, and it can get in that awkward angle where it gets stuck.
Yeah, so the swivels aren't very fun. These mag pull ones are a little bit better because they're not as like broad and burly. Like they still have that wideness to them, but they're a lot slimmer than you can see on these.
Yeah.
It's rounded, so these are a little bit more jagged. So it's rare that it happens to me, but it's happened. It's gonna happen. So I mean, these are freaking machines, so they're not supposed to be comfortable. These aren't pillows. So you kind of got to deal with it, figure out what you're willing to deal with, and change it if you're not.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, you want to buy stuff and make sure that it works. Like we have a video that we just released a couple weeks ago where I was walking around with my buddy BJ here in Modern Warriors Nashville, and we were picking out all these different things that you're going to get for your rifle. These aren't, all this stuff together isn't stuff that you're going to buy day one when you buy the rifle. More than likely, you know, you're going to like piece it together here and there, but when you buy it, you want to start training with it.
Absolutely.
Would you agree?
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
absolutely.
for sure.
Like on mine, I still have the flip up sights because I took one off when I put the Hydra on, but I didn't know if I was gonna like it or not. So all of that stuff is normal. If you have somebody that their gun looks as clean as their car, and
they're not using it.
Yeah, they're not using
Yep.
it. No, then it's just to show their buddies.
Yep.
So like this one, I've beat the crap out of it, but I want to because this is the gun that I plan on grabbing if, God forbid, somebody runs in my house, which would be a terrible decision.
Yeah.
That would be the first thing that I grab. So you just want to make sure whatever you grab, whatever you stage, whatever you're training with, and you put up money and time and effort into, you want to make sure that it works. Because at the end of the day, we're all buying guns to protect our families. So you don't want to grab a gun that just explodes and it's a bad situation for you.
It has happened.
Yes.
On the range with people not, I know you've seen it.
Too many times.
Yep.
Yeah.
Be out on the range, gun explodes.
Yeah, no, it's bad PTSD actually, yeah, so.
Like gun explode and then, you know, hit them, and, you know, I saw one guy, something explode on his gun, cut his stomach open, paramedics had to come in. Yeah.
That's
because
a terrible
he had some, I don't know, going on, but yes, absolutely. Yeah. So make sure you train with it, make sure you're putting the right ammo in it. Like this is 300 blackout, that's 5.56. You don't want to try to put 300 blackout in a 5.56.
No, that's just buy a grenade and pull it, put it in your pocket. To be honest, if you want to see what happens. But the biggest point is to be safe regardless. You want it to work, you want it to be safe, you want it to be comfortable, and you want it to be, you know, express yourself, man. I mean, if you like it, it works, do it.
Love it. All right, man. Another one.
I appreciate you.
Hey.
Man. I appreciate you.
aren't ready for all the videos. But we're just
And they're not ready.
we're just starting to roll out some stuff.
I haven't been in front of a camera in a while, so.
We not even know. Yep. All right. Like, comment, subscribe. Got a lot of stuff coming. See you on the next one. Romine. Peace.